Yo, what's up, guys? We're here with the prediction for the UFC card 308 in Abu Dhabi, in Yas Island. We have featherweight championship fight and two title contender fights, 13 fights, all male. We should have 14. The fight fell off. Said Magomedov against Daniel Santos. I mean, I was such hype for the fight because I really like Said Magomedov. He's such a great, not just stand-up fighter. He knows also some wrestling, and he has the submission abilities. So this was probably a fun fight, but yeah, sadly it fell off. Maybe Said will get a new opponent from what the rumors said. So if he gets a new opponent, I will make the prediction in the comments. So yeah, let's start with the first fight. Rinat Fakhretdinov against Carlos Leal. I got Rinat by decision. I mean, it's the debut of Carlos, and we saw Rinat how good he is. It was also um, a short notice because this was the Uzbek fighter Nur Sultan who should fight, and again the fight fell off. But yeah, we got Bruno by decision, take him down, maybe even winning the striking battles because he has some power in his hands. And also he beat Brian Battle, which is very interesting for me because I believe Brian Battle is maybe even a top 15 fighter. He's really good, especially stand-up. So yeah, Bruno Silva against Ismail Naurdiev is the next fight. I got Bruno 29-28 decision. I mean, that's that's a tough one to be honest because Ismail is still young, is a talent, but he never used what God gave him. To be honest, something fell off with him. I know he had some personal problems. I know Ismail a long time ago because he's from the same country as me living, so he's young. He's not experienced like Bruno Silva, but like I said, he has the talent and the abilities to go big, but he never used it. So yeah, it's sad for him, especially the knockout, the knee against Michel Prezes. It was very good, you know. This was in Brave or ACA, I don't remember. But on the other hand, Bruno Silva has a knockout win against Brett Tavares, which was, I believe, last year ago. And Brett Tavares is very tough to finish. I mean, even DDP couldn't finish him. And also on the other hand, Bruno Silva eat the punches from Alex Pereira. Can Ismail Naurdiev really finish him? Because he's a finisher. So yeah, that's why I got Bruno Silva by 29-28. I mean, it's in Abu Dhabi. It could go to Ismail. But I believe Bruno will make it such clear that the judges can't really rob him. So yeah, next on the card is Farid Basharat against Victor Hugo. We got Hugo by second round submission. I mean, this is also a tough one again because both guys, I believe, are equally good. But if both guys are equally good and it's a decision, then probably it would go for the Muslim fighter, for Farid. But I believe Victor Hugo knows he needs to finish the fight and he will go for submission. He has some good submission abilities, and I believe maybe Farid wouldn't expect it in the second round, maybe in the first one, but not in the second. That's why I got it by second round submission for Victor Hugo. Next on the card is Kennedy Nzechukwu against Chris Barnett. I mean, that's a funny one. I also believe this was probably Justin Tafa should fight on this card against Kennedy. Something again happened. So yeah, I mean, that's also a tough one because who will get knocked out? Will be Kenny, the guy who's chinny? No, he got knocked out by Dustin Jacoby. I believe Dustin Jacoby is really good, but you shouldn't get knocked out by him if you want to go big. And on the other hand, Chris Barnett, small fat guy, what he can really do. But we saw his finishes. He's spinning things and jumping, and he's very athletic for his size. I have the first round knockout for Chris Barnett. I mean, we could go with Kennedy, but I don't see him eating the punches from a heavyweight fighter. So that's why I believe if Chris Barnett really lands a good overhand or something like this, in particular, that he will go down or he will be knocked out, maybe in the last minute of the first round. Next on the card is Abus Magomedov against Bruno Ferreira. I got Abus by decision. Again, it's in Abu Dhabi. Maybe it will be close, especially the first round. I believe the first round is always Abus Magomedov. He's like Khamzat Chimaev. First round is always on his side. Yeah, the second round, maybe Bruno will try to come back. Abus will guess out and he will try to take him down. The second round will be very boring, but I believe the third round Bruno tries to win, tries to knock him out. Abus tries to survive. It will be very interesting. The third round will be very funny for the fans. I'm very excited. So the third round, maybe people will call it a robbery because they will see, oh, Bruno, he's winning the fight. He's winning the third round, but we saw Abus winning the first and the second. So that's what the judges will also probably see and give it a 29-28 for Abus. But I believe people will call it a robbery because it's in Abu Dhabi. So yeah, but a tough and I believe this is a good fight because Abus can really show that he can stand with these guys, and if Bruno wins, he will definitely get the top 15. Next on the card is Myktybek Orolbai against Mateusz Rębecki. This is this is an interesting one. A clash from the Mongols against the Eastern Europeans. I mean, back then it was interesting because the Mongols could enter and do whatever they want, but they backed down. Will Myktybek do the same thing? I don't think so. I believe he will win the fight by decision. He also has the finishing abilities, but I believe Mateusz Rębecki is especially a good fighter, but he has the dog in him. He will try to survive, and Myktybek will just win by decision. A good fight. Maybe we will see some blood, and especially from Mateusz. He's very good, but I believe he should fight often, and also Myktybek is in such a hype right now. He has a chin, and he looks like he has a chin. So yeah, he will survive and he will do the damage. On the other hand, he also will be better on the ground, I believe, and win the fight by decision. Next on the card is Geoff Neal against RDA, Rafael dos Anjos. If this fight was 3-4 years ago, I would definitely go with Rafael dos Anjos. But right now, Neal can't afford to lose, man. He can't afford to lose. And I will not just go by decision, but by second round TKO. I believe Neal will put on them hams, he will defend the takedowns, and get the finish in the second round. I believe RDA should either retire or go to PFL, Bellator, something like this. Because, what's the point even? I don't understand really what happened with RDA. We all know he will never get the title or in the top 15 picture. Maybe he has a good contract, and if Neal loses this fight, he will also definitely not go, not just in a title picture, but also not even in the top 10 anymore, because you can't lose against RDA and then have opponents like what he had, Ian Gary. It was a split decision. There are guys like Jack Della Maddalena. Also, I mean, Dylan Edwards is still there. Kamaru Usman is still there. Kobe is still there. I can't see Neal winning the fight if he loses this. This will be his downfall because he's not old. He's in his prime right now. He can't afford to lose. And RDA is 39 or something like this. So this is probably his either last fight or he will go to PFL. So Geoff Neal by second round TKO. Next on the card is Ibo Aslan against Rafael Ferreira. I believe this fight was the first fight, but now they moved it down to the last. Maybe they expect the finish. We expect the finish too, but in the last round. Third round knockout by Rafael Ferreira. I also believe 70% or something are going with Ibo Aslan. But the thing is, yes, he has the 13 knockouts. But against who? Most of them were cans. So let's say 11 cans. One of them was Anton Turkal, who he lost also prior. And he was losing the fight until the knockout. And the other one was good, of course. Then about Contender Series, very good knockout. Also in the first round. So Rafael Ferreira, on the other hand, also has 11 knockouts. 11 wins, 8 knockouts, 2 submissions. So he's also a finisher. But the thing about him, he's a very good grappler. And he knows how to take you down. He's very athletic. And he has a chin too. So if he survives the first round against Ibo, he can really put the damage in the second and knock him out in the third round, because Ibo will slow down in the third round, and I believe he don't have the stamina for the third round. So yeah, third round knockout by Rafael Ferreira. Now we're going to the main event. This is such a good card, man. I just can't wait to watch this. Shara Bullet Magomedov against Armen Petrosian. We got Shara Bullet by second round knockout. I don't really understand why people hype Armen so much up, or they're downgrading Shara Bullet. It's probably that case. It will be for sure a stand-up fight, and I believe in a stand-up fight against Shara Bullet, you really need to be maybe Alex Ferreira or either Israel Adesanya to win against him in a stand-up battle. I don't see anybody beating him, to be honest. He is that good. We saw it just with Nina Drama recently. He's so fast. He has this new kick. He has always new moves, which will be surprising for his opponents. And Armen can take him down. Maybe Shara can even take him down. We saw also in his training his takedowns. So I believe he worked a lot on him, and he will have the second round knockout finish. Next on the card is Lerone Murphy against Dan Ige. We have Lerone Murphy by decision. I know a lot of guys are now, of course, look, Dan Ige is a fan favorite. People love him, especially what he did like 4 hours short notice. But man, Lerone Murphy is really good, and he don't like to lose. That's why he has a 0 on his losses. He didn't even let Zubaira win the fight. You know, if you watch it, this was also in Abu Dhabi. He got knocked down in the first round and had a draw at the end. So Dan Ige is very dangerous in the first round. If Lerone Murphy survives the first round, he will definitely win the fight. And I had it by second round knockout, but again, Dan Ige is a Hawaiian. You know, they are tough, so we got Lerone Murphy by decision, maybe even 29-28, and then he gets the first round. Next on the card is Magomed Ankalaev against Alexander Rakic. This is a very tough one. This is a 50-50 to be honest, because it just depends who shows up. I mean, it's in Abu Dhabi, so it's interesting. But I believe Alexander Rakic can win the fight. I have him by decision. So yeah, man, how can the fight go? Let's say the first round, Rakic, does again with his, calf kicks, leg kicks. Magomed Ankalaev will try to go in and will try to take him down. I believe Rakic can stuff the takedowns. He's a really good wrestler and grappler. I don't understand why he didn't use it against Jiri. This was such a big mistake, especially in the second round. I mean, of course, he talked about antibiotics and also with his legs, he couldn't even use them. So I don't know what really happened, but I just know he has really good wrestling. We saw it also with Anthony Smith and what's his name, Justin Ledlet or something, like where Rakic put on a performance like, I know, over 100 strikes and beat the crap out of him. He had him also on the ground, so I believe this will be a stand-up battle. Now I don't think Rakic will shoot too much. So in a stand-up, if Ankalaev catches you, you can go down. But Rakic has such a good defense in the stand-up, if he is healthy, that you can't really catch him too much. So I see Rakic winning the decision. I mean, it's in Abu Dhabi. It's tough to win a decision against Ankalaev, but I believe this is the time. Yeah, we will see. Next on the card is Robert Whittaker against Khamzat Chimaev. We got Chimaev a first round submission. People really forget who he was. You must have forgot. Chimaev is that guy. He really is that guy. Believe me. 26 October, like Mike Holloway always says, just watch it. Just watch Chimaev do a great performance against Robert Whittaker. I mean, we saw Robert get taken down by Dricus du Plessis. And you gotta remember, Chimaev is a freestyle wrestler. Robert Whittaker never really faced such a freestyle wrestler like Chimaev. From what I know, Romero is a Greco-Roman. Makhachev, for example, is a Greco-Roman. But the freestyle wrestlers are different. And if Chimaev uses this, especially with his athleticism and his crazy first round craziness, and dominance, he can show a takedown in the first minute, and then he has 4 minutes left. And I believe you need to be Kamaru Usman to survive the first round. Who knows how Usman survived the first round? Maybe because he has such a big neck. Usman was just a real champion in this fight. because I believe every other guy would lose this, in the first round. And Chimaev had a 10-8. So I believe if Khamzat Chimaev has Robert Whittaker in the first round like this, there is no way Robert will get up. Either TKO or submission, but I believe, after such a crazy ground and pound, big volume punches, try to knock him out, he will give his neck and give up, Robert Whittaker will, of course, go in with big confidence, especially with the win against Ikram. But this is not Ikram, this is Khamzat Chimaev, who also has the hands. He can also knock you out. So I got Chimaev by first round submission. Now we have Ilia Topuria against Max Holloway for the belt, featherweight champion, undefeated Ilia Topuria against Max Holloway, who is, I don't understand, man. This guy is really good, especially his stand-up, his chin. Like he won against Rodriguez, he won against Allen. All these fights, people would maybe think, okay, now it's time to lose, but he never loses, man. He just lost to Volkanovski, and to Dustin Poirier, of course, who is a lightweight, but I mean it's DP. But yeah, now we have Ilia Topuria, a guy with knockout power, a guy with submission abilities, a guy with good wrestling, BJJ. He has everything. A guy who has a good chin. Yes, he got knocked down by Jay Herbert with a kick, but this was such a good kick, maybe everybody can go down. And what happened? He got up and knocked him out, cold. So maybe even if Max Holloway knocked him down, Ilia Topuria can go up and still finish the fight. He's really that guy. I believe him and Chimaev are in such a mood, nobody can really beat them. In middleweight, I believe it's Duplessis who can have a chance against Chimaev, at least. And in featherweight, I believe it's Movsar Evloev who can give Topuria big problems. Besides that, I don't see anybody beating Ilia Topuria right now. He really is in the Conor McGregor prime mode, in the Khabib prime mode. If he stays on track like this, you can beat him. I have him by first round knockout. I thought about third round knockout, but then he will go in the first round. He knows he can't go to a decision with Max Holloway. You need to be a guy like Alex Volkanovski, who has the volume punches, volume kicks, and just try to break you. But Ilia Topuria is a guy. I mean, we saw it with Josh Emmett, how good Topuria fights in 5 rounds. He can go 5 rounds, of course. And I just love to watch him, man. And I'm so happy the fight with Josh Emmett got for 5 rounds, because we really saw how good he is. His ground game, his knockdowns, just his knockdowns were great. And of course, Josh Emmett with his heart, what he showed in this fight is incredible. If this was any other guy, I believe he will go down. We will see Max Holloway for the first time sleeping in a cage. Tune in on 26 October.